Hey guys, Matt, Straight Race Cards here. Happy Thursday. And man, as I have been reflecting on the last few weeks, my heart has just been filled with so much gratitude for the hobby. I am so thankful just for this community and even just, getting to talk to some amazing guys. Like I was thinking about as I was texting Drew over at the Drew Vintage Legacy Collection, or guys like Jake, Legends Never Die. And I'm just so amazed that we have so many great friends and community across the hobby, which really got me thinking, like, where have my cards taken me over the years? It's crazy that, just, a year ago, I didn't really know any of these guys personally, but cards have taken me to all kinds of places. They've taken me across town to go to a card show 30 minutes away in Allen. They've taken me to, to across town to go, to dinner to see some guys. They've, this next year, cards will take me to, a plane flight to all the way to Ohio to go to Strongsville. And that's crazy that a piece of cardboard would motivate me to go all sorts of different places that I never would have gotten to go to if it hadn't been for cards. Which leads me to what I wanted to show today, which is really just my story shown through cards. And I hope that this is a reflection of, some of the cards I've picked up along the way, but really as we go through this journey of life, we can point to those purchases and cards to look back on different, stepping points along the way. So I'd encourage you guys, it'd be fun just to hear your story shown through cards. So I think this could be a fun way for our community to do that. It's a great way to just, go through my collection and just appreciate what I have. So I'm excited to do that. Love to give a shout out to Tyler over at 5 Cent Wax. Watched his most recent video, which is really amazing story about his brother and just his legacy. So go check that out. I'll leave a link to that video. And then just want to say to the community, thank you so much for your incredible gifts. Gotten some amazing gifts from some guys like Tony over at Tony Talks Cards, another non-YouTuber named Ed Pike, so gracious to get some track and field cards. And so that's been so grateful. I've been so grateful for. We've been working on our Rangers binder and we're about halfway done, which is incredible, all because of the community. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to show you my collection and my story through cards. So appreciate you guys and keep running the straight race. So here's my journey as seen through cards. So here's 63 Bombers Best, which just reminds me of my childhood. Bobby Richardson encouraged Mickey Mantle at Baylor Hospital in Dallas, and that's where I was born. I was born, at 28 weeks. Should have not made it as a triplet, but I did. And so I'm so grateful just to be alive, and that is a miracle in of itself. So grateful just again for life and for Bombers Best. And as a kid growing up, the Texas Rangers were my absolute favorite thing. Here are two of my childhood cards. Little backyard baseball, Pudge Rodriguez, my favorite game growing up. This I would truly say is my first card. This thing is beaten to heck and I love it. And so here's another great Pudge that a friend had sent me along the way. His is his pre-rookie. And so Pudge holds a special place in my heart, just as a love for baseball formed and a love for my Rangers as well. And so as a kid, my favorite childhood series of books to read were the Coach Claire B. Chip Hilton Sports Series, which you can see from his auto right here, and just this idea of him teaching young men to be excellent and learn integrity through sports. So I wanted to be like Chip Hilton, his main character, and that's really been a thing, an image in my life of just pursuing sports, pursuing integrity, pursuing my faith. And so I love anything that related to Claire B. Growing up in Dallas, there was a lot of great athletes to look up to. In high school, I got to watch my boy Clayton Kershaw, who was just a few years older than me, pitch. Reminded of the legacy of great men, great athletes like Bobby Lane and Tom Landry. So love that 57 Tops football. And then as I continued to pursue sports, I wasn't a great football player. In fact, my coach told me I would be the first football player in his 40 years of coaching that would wear an extra small size helmet. So I went and ran, and I wanted to be like Roger Bannister, and I wanted to break the 4-minute mile. And so as I did, I realized I wasn't as much of a good miler, but I was more of a long distance guy. And I began following things like Chariots of Fire, where I saw men like Lord Burleigh and just admired their strength. And so I got into cross country, and I love these 1925 turf cigarettes cross country. So I spent most of the years of my childhood and life running Saturday mornings, doing races. So I love any cards that reminds me of that wonderful season of running. And I continued on, seeing my idol of Eric Little, and just wanting to be, after him, of running the straight race. That was, my mantra, and has been really my whole life, is this idea of running the straight race after Christ. And so this little card is, insanely special to me. And sports were such a great way to teach me how to model integrity, how to do the right thing when no one's watching. And Al Kaline, when I see these cards, the big reason why I wanted to pick up his cards is because he was an example of that, of humility, all the kind of athlete, or all the kind of characteristics that I wanted to be as an athlete. So love Al Kaline and his story, and how he was also just excellent at what he did. And so, he was the youngest AL MVP in a long time. So I love looking at, that's a beautiful 64. And then here is his 58 that I love, just beautiful. And so I was grateful enough to continue my running and go to college, where I went to Baylor University to run track and field. And Ted Lyons, believe it or not, actually ran track and field at Baylor University along with playing baseball. And so got to follow Ted Lyons in his footsteps as a Baylor track and field athlete, and pursued that. So it's really fun to connect baseball with my love for track and field, and Ted Lyons is the perfect bridge for that. And then, I continued on in my journey, and I moved to Atlanta right after college. And it's men where I got to, go to Braves games, and it reminded me of Hank Aaron and just his prowess, and, the fact that Hank Aaron was a great home run hitter, but he was also a man that overcame a lot of hate. And so always grateful when I think about Hank Aaron and his legacy, and men like Larry Doby, who paved the way for young African-American athletes to be men that were on the field and in the middle of the fire. And when I was in Atlanta, I had this season of wanting to chase the Olympics and the Olympic trials. And so that's what I was training for. And that's so in the marathon. And when I look at this Jesse Owens, I'm just reminded of his ultimate conquest in the 36 Olympics, and just how Jesse overcame the evil regime of Hitler to gain glory. And so I love collecting Jesse Owens because of that. And I'm reminded of my own season, whereas I didn't make the Olympic trials in the marathon. I ultimately stepped down to focus more on my family. And so I do love just these turf cigarette cards, though, and just training really hard. And I'm just reminded of that season of putting in so much hard work, and it was so worth it because of the friends and leadership and character I learned along the way. So I love that. And then when I moved back to Dallas, after my running career had kind of faded down, we started having kids, and I was trying to figure out what to do. And I found pre-war baseball cards, and Christy Mathewson was the first guy I found. And I just love this beat-up Mathewson card because it reminds me of, again, a guy that modeled great character in a sport that was filled with a lot of debauchery. So as I look to Mathewson, I look to others. Like I found this beautiful M116 Eddie Collins, and Eddie was a man that displayed a lot of hard work, and was just known for good, clean living. And so I love that that Collins as well. And that led me into a path of finding new cards. And so it was finding, cards like this, these National Licorice track and field cards. And so my card journey has taken me to all kinds of new sets, all kinds of new athletes. These National Licorice cards are amazing. What a great set, great colors, and then outside of track and field, I was reading this amazing book, Boys in the Boat, and I was just absolutely blown away. Every time I look at this card, it's Mühlen Frank, Boys in the Boat, rowing of the U.S. Olympic team that won gold in 36 Olympics along with Jesse Owens. I'm just reminded of just this amazing effort that these guys did, coming from nothing to achieve the greatest goal. And I'll end with this. My card collecting journey has taken me to so many ways. It's come full circle now with my boys collecting. When I look at this card, I think about my boys who just laugh every time they see the floating heads. And so I'm reminded of that. But as I'm reminded of, the many people and great athletes on this card from the 63 tops, I'm reminded of just how sweet this community and card community has been, with so many people that have been so influential in my journey in collecting and in life. And I am so grateful for each one of you guys. So that's how I want to end this video, just as a mere reflection of my life, and just a simple thank you to this community for being so impactful and meaningful in my own journey, and I wouldn't be the same without you guys. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope someone else can share their own journey through cards. It's a fun reflection, and as always, guys, keep running the straight race.